Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of Full Blast Garage. And the clock is ticking, man, on Duct Tape Drags prep. We got a few more things to tie up on the old Transient Am before she's ready to go all the way across the country to Tucson. And we're participating. If we make it, this thing's going down the drag strip. I don't know if we'll win or not. Probably not, but it's going to make it. It's going to go down the drag strip. But I got this thing registered, insured, so it's legal for me to put it on the road now. So I kind of need to tie up a few loose ends, mechanically wise. The thing runs hot. I think all these F-body of this gen, they don't cool very well because of the nose. So I got dual electric fans. I got a 160-degree thermostat that I want to install, new thermostat housing just for good measure. New air filter. We're going to make the shaker hood functional because this one, I don't know if it's aftermarket or what, but the whole back of it is just, it's fiberglass. So it's not sucking any air from the outside, and I'd rather it be functional. You know, that probably add a few horsepower. Might take 2-3 seconds off my quarter. No, it ain't going to make it probably any faster at all. But on my last shakedown, right front brake caliber locked up, so we got new brake hose for that because I'm sure that's what happened. We got air shocks for the rear because I got a little bit of a clearance issue between the rear sway bar and the exhaust, and I just need to raise it up, I mean a hair, just enough to get the sway bar off the exhaust system. There's not really a lot of movement back there that you can do and line everything up perfect in the exhaust, so it is what it is, and let's fix it with air shocks. Got new front shocks. We're kind of start maybe prepping for the vintage air kit because I am putting AC on this thing. We're not driving to Tucson with T-tops and no AC. You get cooked. But yeah, man, let's dig into this thing. See if we can put this on full blast. Well, she's turning a little bit today. That might be because it's on the ground a little tight. Raise her up a little bit more. Yeah, but you can hear it dragging pretty bad. The other day after I drove it, this thing was locked up. Another good indication you got a caliper locking up is she was pulling real hard to the side that this thing is. So take this thing off. Look at what we're working with. I did replace the hose on the other side. If I remember right, I think it was leaking. No, I don't think it was leaking. I don't think I could get any fluid out of the bleeder. So that's a good indication that it was collapsed. And now on this side, we're probably dealing with the same thing. When these hoses get old, they swell up on the inside, and one day the fluid will go in and then it won't come back out. So we're gonna need to do here, we got our old brake line. Right here. So we got our old one. We're going to break this guy loose up here from the mount, break it loose from the back of the caliper, and just replace it. And when I do this, I always like to break my bleeder loose, just kind of let it gravity bleed for a little while before I close it, just because you're introducing a new line into the system and it's filled with air. Let that air flush out just kind of on its own, and then you'll be fine. So let me go get my torch because I'm probably going to need it. Get these guys off and show you what it looks like with a new brake line. Hopefully this thing loosens up. Yeah, oh yeah, she's locked super tight. Here she be with new brake line installed. Didn't break anything, and I'm just gonna have to keep my eye on it for a couple days, just see if we develop any leaks. But went ahead, left the bleeder open, got some air out of the system that way. I'm not the biggest fan of how the retainers fit on these aftermarket lines. Like I can already see this thing's coming loose. I have to try and bend it a little tighter and snap it back over the brake hose. The factory ones are a little bit better in that sense. But yeah, I think everything's kind of okay on this side. Hopefully this rotor will loosen up a little bit, or the caliper. If not, we might have to take this thing apart and see if there's like a rusty buildup spot on the caliper. But I'm guessing it was probably the brake hose, and hopefully once we drive it a little bit, everything will kind of break free. Well, let's move on. I gotta put the tire on, slide the jack back, lift the car again, and then we'll start working on these front shocks. All right, moved on to shocks. And the absolute worst part is the top bolt up here. I ain't gonna lie. Hopefully she'll just break loose or just break. That's always nice. Let's see. Is there any chance this thing's actually spinning, not the entire shaft? Let me see if it's actually loosening. Oh, it made it all the way up here to the top. We could be in luck. No way. I can't even believe it, but there it is. And these things do not look good. Like they've been on there a long time. I'm totally shocked. No pun intended. You always want to see a ton of oil top of your shock boot. So that's a 9/16, and hopefully nobody's done the old double nut trick. Oh, one came out. Come on now. Two came out. All right, and I expect a ton of crap to fall out because these lower control arms are totally full of, almost looks like peach seeds, but could be some sort of nut or something. But I think these might have been done. Let's see. Wait. No rebound at all. You can't even pull them back out. Holy crap. Well, I guess this was an expense that we probably needed to spend. So let's go ahead. I'll go grab the new shocks, start getting those fitted up. Can't believe this thing broke loose. That was awesome. All right, I'm gonna go grab them. Monroe comes off. Monroe goes back on. So that's the way we're playing this game, because I ain't spending no kind of money on this thing after buying that air conditioning system. Holy moly. I guess they just want folks to sweat. I don't know. But it's the same way it came off. Might want to take a moment to just get all the peach seeds and gunk. I hope y'all can hear that hitting the ground. Hopefully I'm not dislodging the retainers for the shocks. That'd be awful. Man, today's just a dirty day. You're working with brakes and shocks and crap like that. You're gonna get filthy. Yeah, make sure you put your bushing on before you slide your shock in place. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the top bushing on and the retainer, and then we're gonna have to compress the shock some to get the bottom bolt started. Not a big deal. I can't imagine this shock's got a whole lot of strength to it. It is the OE Spectrum. I'm sure that means it's incredible high quality. Man, it's a mess under here. It's like a dang squirrel was living in this car. All right, one bolt started. Second bolt, hit it with the 1/2 inch. All right, bottom side, tightened. Top side, you don't have to go crazy. You just want to kind of start compressing that bushing so it won't come loose. That's it. And I'm kind of going to do it and feel here. That's starting to get pretty tight. I think that's it. You're done. You did brake line, front shock on your Trans Am, you're following along, and this literally would go for any car. I mean, it's almost the exact same for any make, model car if you're doing shocks and brake lines. So, especially in that 60s to probably 90s General Motors, it's all the same. All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna knock out the other side. Then we're gonna move on to the rear, put the air shocks on. That's a little more involved, especially if you didn't have air shocks before. So, wish me luck. All right, we got the front all buttoned up. She's gonna ride like new. Now let's start looking at the back here. So, the back shock, it's kind of like opposite orientation. There's a big stud on the bottom. There's 2 bolts at the top. So, this one, from what I can tell, it looks like we got 1 bolt possibly snapped off, and this guy feels like it's got all of nature's Loctite on it. Jeez. Let's see. Maybe if I break this bottom loose, might help it get in a better angle. Not 100% sure. But it's worth a shot. And I'm probably going to shoot a self-tapper. If there's a bolt broke off up there, it's probably going to get self-tapped. I'm not going to lie. I would be shocked if this is actually coming loose. And we do have some inclement weather. So if you guys hear a insane thunderclap, it's because there's freaking lightning right behind me. There was one a few minutes ago that it made me jump. I'm not gonna lie. It was flash boom, like it was that close to me. All right, I think kind of not lifting this thing up by the rear end kind of helped us with that one. We might be a little hosed when it comes to putting it back on, but we'll just have to see. We might need to readjust. We can get everything all lined up and just jack up the rear when we need to, because that's definitely an option. So I'm hoping, since I can manipulate this shock now, be able to get this guy out a little bit easier. Be good if I had the right size socket. Kind of going for anything at this point. Just come out and don't break. I need at least one genuine bolt holding the shock in. All right, well, I'm gonna check, see if this other side is broke, and then I'll start mocking up the air shop. So y'all give me a minute. All right, well, I finally got me a hole that I think a self-tapper will thread into. So I'm gonna go ahead and just start the upper part of the shock here. I'm gonna get a new self-tapper. It's your best chance of succeeding there. Don't know if I'm gonna have to get another extension for the gun here. I might have to. We might have to switch to a smaller. Oh. Ooh. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to get another extension. Give me a minute. Let's see if I can kind of line this up. It's pretty hard to see where our bolt is supposed to go. And this thing, gonna be a little bit challenging to get this airline installed, I'm guessing. The joys of having a jack with stuff that other people have already messed up for you. It's always nice. All right. I'm gonna let that sit there for a second. Yeah, it's gonna be a little tight. Your valve is right here for your air pressure. Gonna be a little bit tight. Man, even that, the threads aren't great on this side either. Still not tight. Let's see what we can do here. Don't break off. It's tightening. There we go. That's where she's gonna be. Might try and just hit that 10. Just tickle it, because it might be a little bit loose on this side, but man, not really. You know what? I'm gonna let a good thing be a good thing and just let that self-tapper ride there. So I'm gonna go ahead. Think I'm gonna go ahead, put the tire back on, lower it down, thread the bottom on, and we should be good to take care of the other side. So when I get to that, I'll pick up threading the bottom back on, hooking up your air lines, and getting that ready to be done. All right, so I went ahead, lifted this thing up by the rear axle. Angle a little bit there. And it got us closer. Our shock's completely compressed. I didn't know how. I wanted to make sure I wasn't overextending it when I started pulling on it. So that's kind of what you need to look for when you're doing that. So I went ahead, I'm gonna go ahead and pull on this thing and get it lined up with our hole here on our suspension. I don't see any other way of doing this other than, and you can put air to it. Unless you got the system hooked up, it's just gonna leak back out. Wow, the size of these bushings, I don't know, I kinda don't understand how they're expecting you to get a nut started on that. Huh. The stud doesn't look like it's long enough here because these bushings are very thick. I mean, do I put a blown out bushing on? Even if you delete the washer, you don't have enough threads to get this thing on here. I mean, you can try. Even that's not a great idea, but you could try. What I'm going to do, tighten this thing down, and maybe that'll kind of squish that bushing, help it kind of hold itself in place. Well, let's see if we can get. So that shows you how much that thing will squish. Hoping I'm not going to have to, like, I don't know, ratchet strap it. What could I do to make that thing stay in place? Because even now, once it's been squished, all you see is just the very tip nub of the shock, little stud. And it definitely compressed that one just a hair. Wonder if I flip this guy like that, that'll give me any more threads. Might do that to both of them. Maybe. Man, if this works, it's catching on the very last thread. Oh, it's gonna tighten. Woo! That was close. Wow. I'd say that's good for compressing those things down. Just squish them. I don't like to see them stick out past the washer, but I'm gonna go ahead and take care of the other side. Catch back up with me when I'm running these air lines. All right, for our air shocks here, pretty simple setup. You get your air line. You're gonna want to put your fitting over your air line. You got a little O-ring that goes over this. I mean, it is little. Believe me when I say it. You're gonna want to thread that over or just press it over. Take off our little protective boot here. But this is it. I mean, you can kind of set your depth a little bit here on your O-ring. Press this guy in, make sure you're getting a good positive connection. Push your O-ring in to the connection. And then thread your little plastic housing thing over. Boom, you're good. So what I'm gonna do is start on this side. I'm gonna find all the places I wanna run my air line, get to the center, cut it. We're gonna need to run a T to run to the passenger side. And then we're gonna need, I'm gonna run it out by like the fuel fill fitting or the fuel fill in the back. This is our actual place where you air it up. And they did give a nut here, so you can drill a hole, nut this thing in so it's not just dangling in the back somewhere. But there you go. So I'm gonna work on kind of plumbing this, seeing where I can put it, and I'll show you guys kind of what the finished system looks like, and then hit it with some air. I think this thing, you got to have at least, I think 20 psi to run it. So I'll just keep goosing it until the sway bar don't ride on the exhaust anymore. So there we go. Maybe about 1 inch of clearance, somewhere around there. But I'm gonna get to work on that, and then I'll show you guys kind of the finished product. This is super simple. Anybody could do this. All right, so I had to abandon my plan of running the fill out the fuel filler which would have been cool. I'm gonna have to get some more line. That's doable. I just have to come back in over here and run to the center. What I ended up doing is just running on the top of the axle with the brake line, zip tying to that. I got my filler over here. It's not in the easiest position once there's actually going to be a tire on here, but we can hit it. Ooh. Definitely going to have to hold this thing on here. What's it going to do? Is it going to blow off every time? There's a chance, because come on. Oh, I heard it take some air. I want to see if I can get the exhaust off the sway bar. That's the goal. How many PSI will that take? She's lifting. I don't know if y'all can see it. That's 90. She's off there. I don't know what the recommended running pressure is. You can run it up to 150. So 90, we're still in the ballpark. And we're definitely clear of the exhaust by a finger. That's kind of what I was shooting for. She might be a stiff ride. We're going to have to see. But this is with all the weight of the car on the rear. So it's kind of a good indication of what it's going to be like when the car actually has its tire on, which I should probably set up here real quick just to make sure we're not looking like Cheech and Chong or something. That could be bad. Let's see. How much actual lift do we got? I don't think it's going to rake too bad. That was about what it looked like before we started, because we were barely touching that sway bar, and I only raised it enough to give me kind of like enough clearance where I don't think we're going to hear any kind of metallic issues going on back there. I don't want metal on metal. I'm gonna drive all the way across the country to Tucson. That wouldn't be fun. I'd probably just take the exhaust off. It might be better to just hear straight pipes than metal clinging all the time. But I'm gonna go ahead and get the tires on, get this thing dropped down, take a look at the stance and see if we need to adjust it any. And let's see. Okay, air chuck is accessible from the rear. We can get to it. I mean, it's slightly precarious, but not anything crazy for this shop. All right, I'm gonna go get the other side on. Let's drop her down, take a look at the altitude and the attitude. All right, y'all watching? We got both the tires on. We'll see what happens. Slower. My head's under here. This is kind of scary. All right. So we're off the jacks. How's it look, guys? Oh, that's nothing. Let's see. I got that much on the rear. I mean, it's maybe an inch of rake. That's not too bad. By the time we load this thing up, because remember I got to put a spare, luggage, all kinds of things. These air shocks are going to be a lifesaver. And I would say not super stiff. And I have like an isolator here on the exhaust. I could probably take that off. Put a whole bunch of like a mastic type coating on there. So if it was touching, maybe it would kind of dull out the harmonic of it, if you guys understand that. But it looks like, yeah, we're off. We're off by about an inch on that sway bar. That sway bar is bent. Someone jumped this thing or something, but it tweaked it in a way that it gets closer to the exhaust. So it's kind of bowed up like this. And there was nothing. I tried heating it, pulling on it. I mean, if I had like maybe a big press that I could take that whole thing out and just try and squish it back. But then, I mean, is it worth it? It's a stock sway bar from a 79. Like, it's probably not doing a whole lot for us. So I think just hold out. If I keep the car, let's upgrade the sway bar, put something real on there. But all right, man, got this buttoned up, got our air shocks on. Let's go tackle the next task. All right, guys, it's the next day in the shop. And first thing, what I always like to do is just go ahead. I'm gonna clean this up, but I wanna look on the ground and look for leaks, especially since I've been working on brakes. And we're dry up front, up here, because I was having a little bit of issues with the banjo bolt in this old caliper. I'm not gonna lie, it acted kind of like it wanted to cross thread when I was screwing it in. And I kind of guess if this brake hose ever needs to be replaced, it's gonna need a caliper, because that thing, I've never seen anything thread in like it did. It was like the bolt was just I don't know, like wobbling in. I couldn't believe it, but it did seal and nothing's leaking. And I did check it pushing the pedal, and under the no good deed goes unpunished label, look what happened on the driver's side rear wheel cylinder. Pumped it up and she blew out. I mean, there's brake fluid everywhere in here. So this is the side that was working. I didn't replace it. I replaced passenger side. It's all brand new up here. The wheel cylinder. Remember, if you didn't watch the videos before, I could not get any brake fluid out of this wheel cylinder, the bleeder. So replaced it. Thought this guy might be good. I try not to replace parts, you know, like shoot a parts cannon and stuff if I don't have to. If it works, leave it alone. And now it ain't working. So I just ordered a new wheel cylinder from O'Reilly's. It'll be here later today. Have to go pick that up, install it. But I think what I'm going to work on now is, man, these headers. I'm going to try and wrap them. It would have been better. That thing's going to leak. You'll see that. I'm going to have to put some goo in there. But these headers come alarmingly close to the trans cooler lines. And that's the best way I could route it and keep anything from touching. But what I'm going to do is just go in, header wrap all this, and just try and do it as well as I can with the headers installed in the car. You always want to do this before they're installed if you're wrapping headers. But man, let's go grab that stuff, take care of this, and then I think there's some wiring things I can do to just kind of finish up this. I was planning on installing, you know, the electric fans up here in this video, but I think I'm going to hold off on that because the vintage air system is going to need me to get behind the radiator to the original condenser, remove it, put the new one in. And I got a whole lot more room if there's no electric fans hanging off the front of the radiator. So I think I'm gonna hold off till I have the vintage air kit, which should be here in a couple weeks. Like if you're ordering that stuff, guys, it does take a while to actually get it to you, but it's worth it because it's directly made for the car. So let's work on wrapping these pipes. Maybe I can get a little bit of heat away from some important parts. I'm gonna try and kind of wrap everything as one, maybe up to where it starts to split. Just kind of see what I can do. I mean, just do the best you can on this. All right, so when you're working with this header wrap from under the car, header's already installed, you're kind of just you're gonna want to cut a piece that's kind of usable size. You're not gonna be able to work with it off the roll, because you ain't gonna be able to fit the roll around the pipe. So, I don't know, I cut about, 12-foot length. And I'm gonna start my wrap where I can still easily access our bolts at the flange. And I'm gonna throw a wrap around here. I'm trying to overlap, not quite 50%, but enough where I'm not gonna have any issues with like wrinkling or anything like that. But you can see you gotta pull kind of your strand over that you cut. And then I like to, where I started, to help hold this in place, put a zip tie. And these metal zip ties come with these kits normally. Some of them are a little harder than others to actually cinch down, but you got to use something metal here because pretty much anything else is gonna melt. And I got these like electrician pliers that probably never used for any kind of electrician work, but just want to take it, pull on it pretty hard, twist it so the pointy end's kind of facing back towards the clamp. This guy, I'm still kind of trying to cinch it down. That one might have to actually be trimmed off. There we go. I got it pretty tight that time. But these guys, if you're not really folding them back up to where the mounting point is, you're gonna run into, if you ever come anywhere near this thing, it's gonna cut you. Things are super sharp. I don't even know if these electrician pliers would trim it. Let's just give it a shot. Let's see. No, not gonna do it. I'm gonna have to find some super sharp wire cutters because I don't think I have any. Let's give it a shot. Nope. I'm gonna have to find some side cutters. But this is it, man. Just hold it on there with a wire clamp. Keep wrapping, keep a consistent overlap, keep it tight so it's not sagging, and just go with it. And I'm gonna, once I get up to here, split off and go 2 and 2 and wrap those together. So I'll kind of show you guys after I get it going what you really need to do or what it needs to look like in the end. You guys don't need to just sit here and watch me wrap pipe. So let's cut. And I'll show you guys what really the finished product under here at least looks like. And then I'll have to take care of the driver's side. All right, side one complete. And we're wrapped, I believe, about as far as I can go. without going up top. So she splits into two over here, and we were able to kind of get, yeah, there we go. It's important. That's the important part, is right there by those transcooler lines. Everything's wrapped. I can go up top and kind of finish off the very top of these. But man, I recommend using this beforehand. I kind of just jumped into this because I didn't know if the motor ran or not. And I would have done it a different way if I was actually just putting headers on my car. I would have wrapped them first. So don't do what I do, but watch me struggle. So one side down, I'm gonna go ahead and finish the driver, lower this thing down, and see what I got to do up top to finish off the header wrap. Driver side done too, and I even went overboard with this like heavy, I don't know if this is starter wrap. It's something I've had laying around, but kind of doubled up here because this is exactly where the starter is. And if we're gonna be making long trips, I don't want this thing just getting heat soaked really bad, and when you turn the car off, then it won't turn back on. So hopefully that'll save our starter. If we're in any luck, we won't be changing starter on the side of the road. And after saying that, I probably should bring one with me. So that'll be in the back of the car. But let's go up top and see what I can wrap up there. It shouldn't be a whole lot, but I just want to hopefully try and save spark plug wires or any other wires that are near those headers, man. Those things put off a ton of heat. So let's go ahead and lower the car down, and we'll see what we got to work with up top. As you can see, under the jumble of wires, there's still a little bit of pipe exposed. Let's see how much of that I can wrap. And you guys are going to get a 2-for-1 because I'm going to go ahead and I think it's time to loom up all those wires. So got a little bit over here also that I'd like to wrap, just because again those transcooler lines are right there. I mean, it probably wouldn't hurt even to wrap them a little bit. That might help protect them. I'm gonna go ahead, start wrapping that, then work on the wires, cleaning that up, and I'll give you guys a picture, or just show you, you know, what that looks like once I'm done, once I clean all that up. And she definitely needs a washer pump. Look at all the wiring back there. Jeez. All right, I'm gonna start getting to work. All right, so I actually kind of just ended up looming everything. I mean, what a difference putting all those wires, you know, in a loom makes over here. I mean, everything's kind of where it needs to be. I did not wrap really any more of the headers up here. I put just a little bit of the wrap in places that looked like it was getting close to stuff, where it was almost touching, just to kind of be a cushion. And then over here, I just went ahead and wrapped the transcooler lines and didn't wrap any more of the top. I mean, I'm up, I don't know, to the top 6 inches of the headers here. I mean, it's so tight in there. It would take me forever, and I don't think it's really worth it. I think I'll be fine on my cooling once I have the dual electrics along with the clutch fan and the 160-degree thermostat. I'm not real worried about overheating then. So now get to kind of start tackling the wiring in here. Let's see if I can get a decent shot. So there's definitely evidence of rodents. Stuff's just kind of hanging, and I'm gonna go through and kind of pick out everything that's disconnected, reconnect it, and we're shooting for all headlights working, all parking lights working. You can see, let's see if I can get it to focus. Right, look at this. All these have just been chewed. Nothing's connected anymore. Somehow the horn works, I don't even know, but I doubt any of the headlights will come on. Maybe one, I think's wired over there. But I'm gonna pull everything out, get a good look at everything, and just kind of start connecting the colors or the wires by the colors that they are, and see when I give it juice if that brings everything back to life. So wish me luck on that, and I'll kind of give you guys a progress update as I'm going. You guys wouldn't even believe how many fuse tees and I don't even know, a new wiring, deciphering old wiring, trying to figure out what was going on. But I think I got it down. The only thing I'm missing is the little light for the lens here on the side. The whole thing got chewed off, the whole plug. So I need to get a new one of those, but let me put in all the headlights and maybe even try and turn the hazards on just so y'all can see stuff blinking in the front. But I think I'm there. I think I finally figured out where everything goes. I mean, rats or squirrels or something just completely tore the front of this car up. Well, after hours and hours of troubleshooting, we got lights. So the rodents or rats or squirrels or whatever ate everything. I don't know. It was a lot. And I still need to get some adjusting kits for these headlights. I got one that's kind of pointed down the bright. I think I even got the blinkers. I'm missing one parking light. It's the whole bulb assembly. Everything's gone. So let's see. Are we blinking? Yep. Man, that's a W. You guys have no idea how bad this wiring was. Right blinker. I can't even believe it. That's luck, I think. So we got blinkers, got headlights. I'll get the adjusting kits to fix so I can, mess with the aim of the headlights, because the adjusting parts of the screws are just rusted completely to where they won't move. You're better off just taking everything out, doing away with that stuff, starting over. And I think that's kind of where I'm going to tap. I looked at the tail lights and they're just as bad as the headlights. So I think I'm going to do that off camera because this was so frustrating. I think I probably just need to, give it a day, start over. But man, we got a whole lot done. We fixed a brake, broke a brake, got headlights, got blinkers, got the exhaust wrapped, got all the wiring kind of tidied up, at least in the engine bay. And I'm kind of slowly just knocking off the list of everything that needs to be done on this car. It's going to be roadworthy. I'm not going to drive it until I do have working tail lights, brake lights on the road. Even though I got the registration, got the insurance, it's ready to rock. But yeah, kind of waiting to do a lot of things till I get that air conditioning kit. That will kind of dictate my order of things that I attack on the engine. But I appreciate everybody for watching another episode on the old Transient Am that we're taking to Duct Tape Drags and doing the poverty tour with. So man, I appreciate it. If y'all could like, comment, subscribe to the channel. We're hoping to get subscribers up for the tour, so you guys can kind of stay in touch, and see kind of the daily parts of this poverty tour. Because, if there's as many people on the Facebook group that show up, I'd say even half, this is going to be pretty funny. But again, I appreciate y'all for watching. And until you see me again, man, just go out, do something that makes you happy. But definitely do it on full blast.